perspective, right? You're all on my list. So I'm not a hacker. But what I do promise you over the next 20 minutes, right? I'm going to scare the living daylights out of you with some stories, right? Just to show you how easy it is to get compromised in your business. The second 10 minutes then after that's probably going to be better for you, because I'm going to tell you what to do, right? So if I have a clicker, let's start with some of the reasons, and I want you to get into the mindset of a hacker. Right? So whatever you work at right now, just for the next half hour or 20 minutes, just try and think like a hacker. Because you're the very people that can answer the questions that I'm going to raise, whether you have these exposures in your business. So really, really important to kind of look at how will a hacker look at your business, look at you, and try and gain access. Right? So you're a hacker next 20 minutes. So nobody probably recognizes this lady, do you? Anybody attend the earlier GDPR session? Right, so this is Helen Dixon. Helen Dixon is the Data Privacy Commissioner. She is the lady that if you have a data breach and your customer data goes missing, she has the power to fine you up to 4% of your revenue. I didn't say 4% on your profit, I said 4% of your revenue. That is very, very significant. If you look at their recent report, and I think that number went up in the earlier session to 6,000, this is the number of data breaches that have been experienced in Ireland in the last 12 months. They do a little bit of maths on this, right? Because 5,000, 6,000, just do the maths on it. And there's about 300,000 businesses in Ireland. So you divide that into it, you get 2% of businesses in Ireland have been hacked. That's a lot. It equates to about 14 a day. So I'd hazard a guess with all the SME companies that come through here that there's a fair proportion of them that by this time next year will actually experience a significant breach. All right. Let me introduce you to another lady. This is, and I know Caroline's going to take a nice roll up. This is Olga Moldova. Now Olga's interesting because back in 2016, she actually had 2 jobs. She was a receptionist in a hotel in Thailand that attracted an awful lot of rich American tourists. She was also a part-time model. So somebody you would expect to meet as part of everyday life. This is Olga later on in 2016 getting arrested. And what she had been doing is what we call social engineering. All the rich American tourists that came in, she was finding out about who they were, what clubs they visited, what sports they did, what banks they were with, all very casual chat. Because what that allowed her to do was work with a Russian cybercrime bank and send what we call business email compromise type emails where the trust was already established and people willingly gave away confidential information. So how well did she do? 29 million is not bad. To have actually extracted out of rich Americans. She got eventually extradited to the US, right? She's still going to be but it just shows you that it's ordinary people that you will meet in your ordinary business as you go about your daily tasks that can actually be involved in hacking. All right. This is a hotel in Austria. It's a ski resort. 4 times they've been attacked with ransomware that shut down the whole hotel. What I mean by shutting down was they actually compromised the building management system, so the hotel could not check in anybody. They couldn't issue any key cards out to new guests arriving. You can imagine how inconvenient that was. And I don't know if you're aware of what ransomware is, but this is where they take over your PC and encrypt it and demand ransom. Generally in a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Now, they were only looking at the time for 1 or 2 Bitcoin, about $1,600, but they would not unlock the system on the cryptocurrency and ransomware was made. So again, just another example. I can give you a personal example because I was always wondering would I ever come across somebody that had been hacked. And yes, last year I have a relative who runs a business that had a lot of confidential detail on his hard disk, just a PC, it's a small business, and it got attacked by ransomware. Now luckily he had, and I'll go back to it a little later when I'm telling you what to do and how to protect yourself against all this. But luckily he had backups, so the cheapest thing he could do was not pay the ransomware, but actually just scrub the whole system and restore everything from a backup. Okay. So I hope you're getting the impression, right? This stuff is easy for hackers, and small business generally do not invest the same amount of money as a bank or a government department in protecting all of the assets of their business. In fact, many small businesses will rely on a PC, maybe some virus checking software, a connection to the internet that has very, very minimal protection, what we call firewall functionality. And that's it. And then they go and use their mobile devices and their tablets, right? And you're out and you will connect to public Wi-Fi hotspots. I'm sure everybody here has probably done that. And they're the easiest place for people to actually sniff on the network, pick up your credentials as they cross over the network. Right? So as you can see here, we have a huge problem with things like ransomware. We have a huge problem with other issues like crypto mining, which I'll come back to later. There are hundreds of attack points that hackers can look at in your business. Right, so we'll get on to in a couple of minutes exactly what we start to do about this. But the fact is that because we're so mobile, how many people here connected to the public Wi-Fi in this conference? Now many of you would have noticed whether you were surfing the websites, I'm sure you've all hit some websites, that it was actually HTTPS. Anybody hit a site that was just HTTP? Nodding? And you're nodding? You see, there's a big difference in those two examples I've just given. HTTPS means that even though I'm on a public Wi-Fi, what is happening in the communication is across an encrypted line. So it's hard if I'm sniffing on the network to actually see what's there. But if you went to a HTTP site, and there's loads of them still on the internet, maybe 30% of websites are still HTTP, I can actually put a sniffer on the network in here without anybody knowing, right, and actually see that traffic. So you imagine you logging into your Gmail, your business account, right? It's quite easy to actually pick up your login credentials. So the attacks themselves, ransomware is probably, up there at near the top of what you might experience. But you will also experience other things. You'll see the word phishing, and I'll come back to phishing a little later and explain in detail what it is. Business email compromise attacks, crypto mining attacks. Anybody know what crypto mining is? Yeah? So what crypto mining, you know everything about cryptocurrency, where you need compute power to actually run all these transactions. So they're taking over your PCs and your servers and actually using that power to do these calculations. Effectively, they're utilizing your servers and you don't even know. So it's kind of interesting earlier when the data privacy conversation was on. That number of 5,000, 6,000 breaches is only what has been reported. In our experience, as a company, Cisco, we're the #1 security vendor on the planet, most customers don't even know they've been breached for as long as 6 to 9 months. So imagine the amount of data that can be exfiltrated right out of your organization without you ever even knowing. I bet you nobody here could actually stand up and guarantee that nobody's been on your home network. We all have home networks, right? Because how would you know unless you've got the proper tool sets to see if somebody's actually inside the network? So we kind of look at security in a number of ways. There's things we can do before an attack. That's the kind of things you would think logically about. Antivirus software, firewalls, right? But there are a lot of things we can do that can observe an attack that's actually happening. And no vendor on the planet can fully guarantee they will never let anything happen on your network, because we get what's known as day zero attacks. And a day zero attack means we don't know how to defend against it, but we see what it is and how it's working. So very often a day zero attack will actually get inside an organization, do whatever damage it's going to do, and then the security industry catches up with the rules to defend against it. So in very many cases we have to look at how we clean up and certainly make sure that an attack that's already inside the organization doesn't spread in further. Okay, let's start with the simple stuff. One of the big bugbears is changing passwords. Everybody's forced into changing the password, right? So what's the logical thing to do when you have to keep changing your passwords? You come up with something very familiar. And the hackers, of course, know that. And so they're going to actually run through these dictionaries of things that they know a little bit more about you. You might be into tennis, and they might try a lot of words first if you know the word tennis, and tennis with your date of birth, if you know your date of birth. But people are very, very predictable when it comes to passwords. Because they have to keep refreshing it, they generally circle in some kind of system around the same set of words. So passwords are responsible for actually nearly all of the majority of breaches that we actually see into business. And it's dead simple, collect usernames and passwords, and you'll see that in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Let's understand some of the different types. Malware. Many people believe that there's no such thing as a bad Apple iOS app on the App Store. Everybody think it's safe? It's been well documented both on the Play Store for Android and on the Apple iStore that malware applications have actually successfully got up there and have been downloaded to millions of computers, even phones. Now think about what happens if you have that now already on your phone and you go back into your network inside your business and you connect to your Wi-Fi. The malware is now already on the inside. Your firewalls are done. It wasn't something that had to come through your firewall, your internet connection. It got to your phone and you brought it into the office. So that's the kind of malware thing. We look at some tools to actually protect against malware in a minute. The business email compromise. This is what this girl Olga Moldova will do. You find out enough about some people, they could probably send you an email that makes it look like it's from somebody you trust. Now the one thing I can guarantee about every single one of you sitting here, we all love to click on links, and we all love to open attachments, right? And that's as simple as it is, right? If you get a business compromise email that makes it look like it's come from your boss, and said, I need your bank account number, I'm giving you a bonus, yeah? There's a lot of people that will actually simply give you bank account number, but it hasn't come from the boss, it's actually come from somewhere else, right? So that's what we call a business email compromise. It's responsible for billions of losses in the industry. So phishing again, it is a very similar theme of, what if I sent you an email saying, free upgrade to 4K Netflix. Click here and give me your details. Right? Offers for the next few hours or for the next week. I guarantee you that some people will look at that and say, a lot of people actually look at that and say, that's great, isn't it? Click into the thing, give all away their Netflix details, and now somebody has access straight into your Netflix account where you probably have lots of your own information already in the Netflix system. Dead easy to get this kind of information. Every year in Cisco, we send out emails to our own employees, and And we are kind of well enough educated all of the time about be careful. We're all human, and at some stage you will fall foul to either a business email compromise or a phishing attack. And you will have clicked that link, or you will have opened that attachment, and it's too late. Right? Everybody, it'll happen to you. So you need to plan towards making sure you have the right tools to at least minimize the risk of that actually happening. Domain compromise. This is very common now, it's become more common. And it's a little bit technical. Everybody understand when you put in something like www.google.com, that actually goes through a system we call DNS, so it gets translated to some IP address. Like they're what's known as domain names. We can actually fool systems with what we call DNS compromise into making a mail look like it came from your organization. So let's say I wanted to imitate a bank. Quite easy for me, using this type of approach, to pretend I'm the domain of the bank and to get you to do an online login for your online banking. That's pretty serious, right? Because once I've got your credentials, I'm actually now off to your bank. I can log in, use the right information, right? And start just moving money your accounts. So these are four very, very common approaches. There's hundreds of other approaches, but I'm trying to limit the ones that you might see in the kind of small and medium business. I'll always go back to the point that we love to click on links and we love to open attachments. So what can we start doing? So prior to that, how many people understand fully GDPR? One? I remember giving a session on GDPR and I broke it down. I'm not going to do it today, but I'm quite happy to talk to you down at the Cisco stand, maybe next year, because this will probably close up in about 20 minutes. But actually when you break down GDPR, it comes down into 12 different areas. So you have to design your security. Right? Make sure your customer data is protected with best practices. What does that mean? Like that means a lot of things. It means when Helen Dixon comes along to you because you've lost all of your customer data, that if you haven't followed a lot of these areas, right, the chances of your business getting a fine is actually quite substantial. But the main one you will see is number 7. You are responsible if there is a data breach. And it has to be reported within 72 hours. So again, it's back to, right, what can we start doing? Now, you see that list I put up there? That's actually a list of all of the security vendors. There's thousands of them, right? It's just kind of like a minefield. And I know as us as a company as Cisco, when we go and talk to large enterprise, a lot of these areas actually make sense. But when we come back to talk to a small business, there's no point in me talking about using analytics to look at the behavior of your network or segmenting your network or all of these great things we can do to actually secure a big network. We have to figure out, can we give you a simple set of steps as a small business? Right. So let's go and see what we might do. I went and actually looked to see was there any good advice on the internet in general. Now, many people have heard of the National Cyber Security Centre. No. The NCSC in Ireland, and we've actually gone and they released a consultation as to what should we be doing to help business in Ireland, right, be more secure. And very recently we put in a lot of responses of what they should be doing. But some of that response referred to what they've actually been doing in the NCSC in the UK. So I put up one of the documents there, Cyber Security Small Business Guide. And what you're going to see in the next few slides is actually excerpts from that, right? Because I found it really, really good. It was simple, just give me a set of steps that I can follow, right, to help get my business a lot more secure. So here we go. If this is not obvious of backing up your data, right? If you get a ransomware attack, you will have no business if you can't get access back to your data. So you've only 2 choices: pay the ransom or have a good backup. Right? Have an old backup and you're probably losing an awful lot of information that's critical to your business. Right? So have a backup. Have a backup that's also off-site. You can see this down the left-hand side of the slide, all the things you should do. But in general, the principle is make sure you back up your data. How many of you back up your data? Okay. Keeping your smartphone and tablets safe. Everybody got a pin on their smartphone? Yeah? You have iris recognition, that's good. So that's the first step of looking at what you might do with a smartphone or a tablet. Can you remotely wipe them? Have you got that set up? Right. Standard thing to do, be able to get rid of the information on it as quick as you can if you're use your phone. Because a lot of interesting customer data exists in your inbox, right? So it doesn't mean all your customer data is back in your office. A lot of it is actually like when your email inbox, you will have sensitive customer data in there. Try not to use Wi-Fi hotspots. Like that's another trivial thing. We all have good enough 3G and 4G signals now where our data allowances are good enough. Why is everybody so compelled to connect to the public Wi-Fi hotspot? If you are connected to the public Wi-Fi hotspot, make sure you're only surfing to those websites that have HTTPS. That gives you some level of protection. Or use what we call a virtual private network. Now, I'm not going to go into that because it's a little bit too technical. From a Cisco perspective, we have software that can sit on your tablets and your phones that actually offers malware protection. Remember I talked about the malware attack? And remember I talked about the DNS type attack, the DNS compromise? That's exactly what this software helps with. Right? Put this in your phones, right? You will actually stop an awful lot of that from hitting your phones. I haven't talked about your PCs. Right? In reality, there's versions of this that you put on your PCs back in your office as well. Right? So you need to start protecting all of the points that you're using in your business. How many people are using cloud? Office 365? So many people are running checks on the email that's coming and going from Office 365. Not so many, I guess. So this is where we get into, just to finish on the malware. So make sure you have an antivirus, anti-malware, something advanced on all your devices. And I mean phones, which are back in the office. Make sure you're always updating. Now people used to fear updates, right? They didn't want to be on the leading edge of hitting, update my server, update my PC, update my phone, not too sure if it'll work. All of the updates are mostly focused on security patches. So if you're contemplating this decision, I would recommend you always immediately update. Okay, we talked about firewalls. So again, I don't want to go into product things, but Cisco have kind of firewalls, we have this malware protection. All of your traffic that is email, if you are not running that through some kind of email security service that is checking for malware, the likelihood of you getting an attachment that has a virus in it is very high. So that means if you come to Cisco and say, as a small business, right, I want all my email checked, even if you're using Office 365. What it means is that we put our security service in the cloud. It's transparent. It just means everything, all your email inbound comes through this service into your inbox in Office 365. All of your outbound mail goes out through this, checking it, right, out to its destination. It's just called our email security service. Every single one of your websites, all your web traffic, when you're sitting in the office and you're clicking all of these websites, the exact same thing has to be done on your web traffic. We have a similar service for analysing the web pages that you're actually going out to visit. These are the things you need to put in place in your business, right? Or the likelihood of you being a statistic for Helen Dixon this time next year is actually very, very high. Okay, the ransomware one. The exact same products that I've called, that DNS one I was talking about is called Cisco Umbrella, right? If one thing you want to remember is, how do I defend against ransomware? Cisco Umbrella. Actually, even as a home user, you should go onto the Cisco website, right, and have a look at Cisco Umbrella, because it'll give you the same protection at home as it will in your business, right? Very powerful. So why does all of this work from a Cisco perspective? We are the largest threat intelligence organization on the planet. Because we build most of the internet and it's built on Cisco products, we see what's happening right around the world. The web browsing, the emails, all of the traffic that traverses the internet. Which means that when we find a day zero attack, or when we find a bit of malware out there, even if it's happened in a far-off place like Thailand, our threat intelligence team makes the defense rules against that and pushes the rules to defend against that right out to the products that you actually purchased. Right? So it doesn't matter where the outbreak happens, you get inoculated from that. And that's a really, really powerful concept. We see so much on the internet that no matter what happens around the world, you can be protected. Maybe somebody, if the day zero attacker, unfortunate enough to be the first, but at least the brain. But everybody remember the WannaCry virus, how far it went? If you look at the lessons of that, there was two things would have stopped that immediately. Umbrella, right? Because it was a DNS thing, it had to actually talk back to a control system. And DNS would actually, Umbrella, would have actually stopped that in your organization. It's very simple, it's a trivial thing, it's not even an expensive thing to do for your business. Right? So that's the kind of scenarios we're dealing with. So I brought you through trying to scare you, right? You have a risk. I brought you through the types of solutions that might apply to your small business. I guarantee you're at threat if you don't look at some of these. We'd be delighted to actually go and have a chat, because some of this may be a little bit difficult to understand.